We are leaving Moab and Utah today. We're heading south towards Arizona's state line. We're going to a beautiful place tonight. We don't have a very long drive today, so we're hoping to be able to stop at some places along the way. This is going to be the Magical Mystery Tour. Come along and see what we find between Moab and where we're going next. That's a surprise.
Our drive today begins by heading south from Moab. On the way, we took a quick stop at Ken's Lake to enjoy the scenery before resuming our journey towards the town of Blanding.
I can feel the fire burn in my heart, make it through the twists and turns, out of the darkness, built from broken bones. When times are tough, I walk ahead and brave the storm. Skies opened up, I'm not hiding anymore. I keep on moving, carving at the stone.
The landscapes south of Moab are continuously changing from amazing red rock walls to open fields. It was an easy and enjoyable drive.
I can see the mountains move. In my heart, I knew that I would.
Coming along the highway, we've come to a little town called Blanding, and we've just pulled in at the edge of the Cedars Museum. The experience at the edge of the Cedars Museum begins with an informative video presentation that delves into the rich history of the area, detailing the meticulous process through which the museum has acquired its valuable artefacts. Additionally, the video sheds light on the tireless efforts of historians, archaeologists, and Native American communities to narrate the story of the ancient Puebloan peoples who have resided in this region for millennia.
So this is actually the place we were looking for, this museum. I had seen it on a YouTube channel video, and it's a museum of the ancestral Puebloans, and there's a great site out the back of this museum. There's lots of interesting stuff in here about their tools and their culture. It's really, really cool. We watched a great video downstairs, very informative. So if you're coming through Blanding, don't forget to drop into this museum. It's really good. As we wandered through the museum, I was amazed by the breathtaking array of Puebloan pottery and cultural artefacts on display. The intricate designs and artistic detail of these items never ceased to amaze me.
But my favourite part was the 1,000-year-old Puebloan ruin at the back of the museum, an ancient house that archaeologists have unearthed, which we could walk around and explore in. When you first come into the museum, there is an auditorium with a video, which is really informative. You can then come out to what they call the Kiva, one of the house sort of structures they have. We're standing on the roof of one of the Kivas. We can go down. I'm going to go down into inside the Kiva down the ladder. And in that movie, in the auditorium movie, it spoke about a hole in the roof, which lets fresh air in. And there's a fireplace just behind the ladder, and the smoke would come out through where the ladder hole is. So just keeps that fresh air going through. They also believe that coming up the ladder through the smoke was a cleansing type of ceremony. So that is amazing going down into the Kiva, and it's a center. The circle is about as big as this square down here underneath. I can stand up. So it's a big place down there.
Okay, so we've just been looking at the old house that we climbed down into and had a look underneath, and that is an actual ruin. It's not a replica. That is a ruin that dates back to over 1,000 years old. What we have here is a replica sun marker, and the ancient people used to use this to track the movement of the sun across the year. And so by that, they would know the seasons, the time of year, like that when the solstice was, the winter solstice and the summer solstice, which helped them with things around planting and harvesting, and also helped them with some of their cultural traditions. And so it's really cool when you look at the way the light dances on the little carvings. So they're very clever people with the way the smoke was used through the hole and how that was a spiritual thing for them as well. Their art is so intricate, and yeah, it's just really cool to learn about these people. There are several wonderful attractions to explore in Blanding. We specifically selected the Dinosaur Museum as a special acknowledgement to our niece, Lauren, who achieved her paleontology degree in 2023. Good on you, Lauren. This one is dedicated to you.
This museum is another hub of scientific activity where dedicated paleontologists diligently recover and study the ancient bones of dinosaurs gathered from the surrounding area. Visitors are greeted with an array of informative displays showing the fascinating world of dinosaurs alongside lifelike models that bring these prehistoric creatures to life. The museum also features a Jurassic Hollywood Hall of Fame, inviting guests to explore the intersection of paleontology and pop culture.
Okay, so that was pretty cool, stopping in at the museums there in that little town called Blanding. So we loved the Pueblo house was really interesting, and getting to go down underneath and just to see how they preserve all of that, and that there were still some ruins that, out of cultural specs, they're not going to excavate, because once it's exposed to the atmosphere and the elements, then they start to fall apart. The Dinosaur Museum was way bigger than we thought it would be. It was really cool. So the surprise for where we're heading, the goal of this video, is Monument Valley. We have the coolest accommodation tonight. Can't wait to show you. Let's get going. I'm sure there's going to be some great views on the way, so let's get there.
There were days I felt like I was not enough. There were nights I came so close to giving up. But I keep breathing, I'm holding on to hope.
As we continued driving south from Blanding toward Mexican Hat and then on through some of America's most iconic scenery towards Monument Valley, we were greeted by dry and sweltering conditions, with temperatures soaring above 40 degrees Celsius. It was fascinating to experience the stark contrasts in culture, weather, and landscapes compared to the states we had previously visited up north. And once again, we found ourselves driving through vast deserts and rock canyons, unlike anything we had ever experienced in Australia. This was all very new to us.
It's a beautiful, crazy life. Beautiful, crazy.
We've got about 25 miles to go till we get into Monument Valley, and I was really hoping to fly the drone, but it is so windy here, it's just impossible. But we did pull over. The patterns and the colours in the mountains behind us are just amazing. We've never seen anything like this, not a tree in sight, just lots and lots of folds of colours.
Air in my lungs and my heart beats fast. It's a beautiful, crazy life. Oh.
So mile by mile, we're creeping closer to Monument Valley. We've had a look at one or two classic views as you drive into Monument Valley. And this one behind us is one of the closest ones we've had so far to look at some of the monuments. But we're not quite there yet, so stick around because we've still got another couple of things to fit in today as well. All right, so we made it to our little cabin with our view. Have a look at this view here. Look at this for a view. But there's still another highlight of today to go that's going to beat the view. So come along and see what the last highlight of today is. There are lots of tours to choose from that can take you to some really cool spots beyond the public road, like sacred cultural sites and other formations that you can't see without the tour. We went with Tony's Monument Valley Safari for his sunset tour, and he was awesome. He explained all about the area and the rock formations and what they mean for their culture, and he's got a great sense of humour. It was a really good choice.
We got the back seat. It's pretty cool.
Slick three, the three spiral, those are called the three sisters. Okay, when we look back in Navajo, we have people that live in the valley. There's 12 people, 12 families that live in the valley. And they believe, their strong belief is that this is a very sacred, holy place to them. Right. So if you look at the west left mitten from this angle, it's a man standing with a blanket. It's called a medicine man. The butte behind him, that's his home, his hogan, or native home. Smut house, there's one right here, just a little ways.
All right, so we're on our tour and we've stopped here at the Navajo fry bread. So we've just ordered some. We're just going to see what that tastes like. Looking forward to it. So we got Navajo fry bread with garlic, salt and butter on it. And it's really, really crispy and feels soft and hot. Buttery, fried bread, nice.
Okay, I'm going to give this Navajo fried bread a bit of a try. It is crispy, pillowy on the outside. Let's give it a go. It's like a giant pompadour.
Good.
It's really nice.
The Navajo Marketplace is nestled in the picturesque setting where scenes from famous Wild West movies were filmed, including an iconic moment featuring John Wayne. The marketplace attracted numerous visitors eager to capture their own moment at the spot where John Wayne sat on his horse, gazing out over the sprawling valley. This is a fantastic tour that we're doing with Tony. We'll put a link to his in the description. We just stopped there, had Navajo fry bread, which is really, really, really good. Lots of gift stores. It's a fantastic tour.
Indian. You got the bandana, the nose, the head, the body, and the square one in the back. That's his drum, called the Big Indian. So you can see it. You can get out, take your photo.
From here, the tour led us off the beaten path, taking us to secluded spots that were only accessible as part of the tour. It felt like we were being granted a special privilege, and I can confidently say that it ranks as one of the most incredible experiences of my life. I will always hold dear these memories of this exceptional day.
Yes, right there. The hole is the hair tie. The black line is the hair, the nose, and the whole head. Okay. All these little boys into the corner of the building, and they sing their own native song. That's where Etnate, this is 12 years out there. It's a year-round school. And they came back, and it's Etnate's song, but it's one of her best songs. Nana.
Very good.
We arrived back at the view overlook just in time for sunset. This is one of the most popular overlooks in the valley, and the ledge was crowded with eager photographers and tourists, all set up and waiting for their own iconic shot. However, for us, we had the privilege of going back to the privacy of our cabin and sitting on our balcony to watch the sun go down and take a time lapse as day turned to night. It was an incredible day. We highly recommend Tony's Monument Valley Safari Tour. You can find the link in the description below. Until next time, take care of your mates.